Hi all, it's Dave Bristow here from Extreme Paint Studio. I hope you're well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the first video of our tutorial. I can't even say that properly. Our tutorial. There's going to be another video after this where we add the color. So this is the first part, and there'll be a second part where we add the color. It's not that difficult. This is a beginner intermediate tutorial, so any of you beginners out there should be able to do this following the process that I put in this tutorial. There's only a few colors we need to worry about: red, yellow, warm umber, burnt umber, and black, and a little bit of white here and there. But as I say, it's not that difficult. So follow along to the video. You've got any comments, drop them in below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you fancy becoming a member, where we do exclusive perks and stuff like that for our members, we've got a WhatsApp support group where you can contact me directly. Just join the membership and you will see all of those perks coming through. We're going to be doing some live streams in January, stuff like that. So join up as a member and support the channel. But enjoy this video, and the next one will be coming within the next couple of days. See you soon, guys. Take care.
So we're going to start with our owl project. Probably need a circle stencil for the pupil area, although the map is not exactly a circle. I've got the big circles here, so I can try and find one that's the closest to it, which is that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a circle for the pupil, but obviously I haven't got a circle big enough for the iris, as it were. So I'll have to do that with because in actual fact, because that's lighter than the outer part of the owl, I'll probably freehand that in and use a shield to go around the black on the outside. So let's get the pupil in first. So I'm just going to go with some shading black, or any black really. If you've got carbon black or jet black or whatever black you're using, Createx black, you can still use it. Let's get this in first. This is the closest circle to it, so I'm just going to go with that one. I'm just going to build it up gradually. Make sure I'm air drying as I go. Now there is a highlight in there already, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around faint first, around the highlight, and before I do anything else I'm going to erase the highlight out. So air dry it. Got a bit of overspray there, but it's very dark, this piece, and we're going to be doing a lot of erasing with a glass fibre pen. So already I can come in and I can erase the highlight out. We can neaten that up afterwards because I've still got some more spraying to do. So now I know where my highlight is, I can continue and make that really dark. And as you can see, my highlight still remains. so I know where it is. And there we go. So we just air dry that. Notice I wasn't too concerned about that, as I call it, the Mickey Mouse ears. The outer of the stencil, because I know I've got lots of erasing to do. Okay, I can clean up the outside with my soft pink if I want to come in and just neaten up this edge. I can get rid of the overspray, look, if I want to. I'm not bothered by it because I know we've got a lot of erasing, but look, I can start to clean it up. I just want to make sure this is the brightest it can be on the outside of the pupil. Okay, cleaned it up a bit. Alright, and while we got black in the gun, there's a lot of black in this. I'm going to come on the outside of the iris now, and I'm probably going to use my Hellfire stencils, curves on my Hellfire stencils, just to get us around. There we go. So this is the Hellfire 4. I've got those lovely curves to bring in the outside. Okay. So we just follow along our map. I'm not going too far out because I've got a bit of orange underneath, okay, but I'm just following the contour of the iris. Oh, let's get that on there. And I'm just doing it little bit by little bit. Okay. I can neaten up if I haven't got the best edge. I can just come back in there and just neaten up that edge bit there. Work our way around. Go the flip side now. Come back into there again. And there we go. So now what we can do is we can use the underside of the Hellfire and we can come inwards, but try not to get your overspray into the orange part of the eye. So we want to be just keeping it very local to this stencil. Gets tighter as it goes round this corner. Just watch for your overspray into your orange part of your eye. Okay, so that gives us our black underneath. We can just let that flow out there. Just rounding off the edge a bit, just by running along freehand. And then as it goes up here, it gets darker and darker. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, in the map you'll see we've got this line of hair going up. So all I'm going to start to do is bring in this darker area underneath that, which comes to this lighter area here. Okay, so I'm going to start bringing in the darker side. Watch for your overspray into your eye. And just build it gradually. Okay, and then we'll run along this line that we've got here all the way up. Might have to use a bit of a shield just to cover that top part again. Hellfire 4, nice shape to use, just to come in the top of that eye. And then we can continue on and it goes into darkness here. So shield your orange area and just come round into darkness. Okay. Okay, so once we've got that line coming down here, what we can start to do is just blend out. And I'm shutting the trigger off as I come out of that bend. So I'm pulling down and shutting the trigger off almost immediately as I'm coming into this white area. Okay, and there's a line here. So we've got a very soft line here going up. Okay, so on your map you'll see this line. There's almost black, orange, brown, white. So I'm just doing the line of the brown that goes before the white area. So now I know where my little line should come in. These lines, you can come right out. Just push them out. Right the way out to this line here on the map. Just keep pushing them out. Obviously the darkest point is going to be in here. Then as they come out, you just push them out towards, we're going to be doing a raising anyway. This is just the starting point. But if you wanted to get some real fine hairs in there, you can. Sorry, feathers. I'm thinking it's hair, but it's feathers. And we're just pushing out. Notice I'm just shutting off the trigger and almost doing a dagger stroke. Good way to practice your daggers. Okay, that gives us a starting point because we've got a lot of black to put in around the beak area. So what we'll do now is we'll push up into that area. Okay, there's a little highlight here. This is kind of grey here around this area, but this is the hole in the beak. So I'm just going to put that in so I know where that is. Okay, and now I'm just going to push up again into those feathers. Not going black, sort of grey like. I'm keeping it like a soft mist in this area. What I might do, in actual fact, I might just push up and keeping it all very soft. I'm getting it a little bit darker, but not as dark as the hole in the beak. So we're just using black at the moment. This is just shading black. Again, come in with my shield. I'm just going to do the top of this line on the beak. So I'm keeping it very local. And I'm just going over the beak. Okay, so now I know where that is. I can do the one above as well. Just air dry this. I'm just going to mist up as well into, because I want to be able to erase this, so I need some kind of a shadow in there in order to erase. So I'm just going to run along there and I'm going to come up into the beak. Okay, and we're going to erase all this area in a bit. So now I'm putting like a grey mist over the lot. Okay, so this becomes quite dark. Now we have got a shape that comes out into the beak, so I'm just going to run this shape using a shield. Alright, just to give me that shape, and then there's a little bit of a curve going into the shape, so there, and I'm just going to darken this up, and it goes up along that and out, and then kind of goes down the beak like so. and we've got a backfill that black and push up. Okay, now we've got a load of little black lines before we get to the main head part up here, so we're just gonna freehand these. Oh, let's do the top of that beak area first. So let's run that line. So I'm just misting it in. Okay, just so we know where it is. And then there's a bit of a shadow on the right hand side, so I'm just going to come in here, just put a little drop shadow right there. Okay, before we get onto this main beak area coming up, which is, if I can do it, there's a bit of a line that comes up there. I'll probably fill that in freehand in a bit, but I just wanted to show where that was coming in. Okay, now we can come into our freehand black lines, which actually goes into our white, or what is now grey but will end up being white. Okay, so we want to get these darker areas in. Doesn't matter if you get these exact. As long as it resembles it. Okay, so let's get these in. Looks pretty good. Okay. Good starting point. I think we're going to concentrate on just doing this top area to begin with. So I can see I've got a darker area here that comes up into the dark area here into the white. So I'm now going to come up, it's just a little, almost like a little drop shadow in this area. So I'm just going to darken this area here. Going to push up a bit into here, just create some feather like. And darken that bit up. There's a darker area here that's almost like in a cross-like form, so I'm just going to put that in. Okay, with a little darker area there. A little darker area there, and a little bit there. Okay, we've got this little darker area here. It's more burnt umber, but I'm just putting the shade in black in so I know where it is. And there's a little bit here as well. Almost like a drop shadow of this feather here. There's a little bit of a line that goes up and then another one that comes down. So we're just creating shapes right now. A little bit there. Okay. I can worry about that in a minute. Okay, so we've got the same kind of thing that we've got here up here. Okay, so we just need to now, above this eye, just do our line above the eye. You can use a shield if you want, but this is going to be blurred anyway, this top area. And then we just eat into it. Like that. Okay, and then as we come out of here, this goes over and then it goes upwards. So we want to start creating these lines going up. Just a few, you don't need loads. Just follow what I'm doing. So over this way and kind of eat into that dark area, into this white area here, and just do a few lines going that way, but just keep this misted. Okay, and then continue that darkness downwards like that. Alright, and then we push up from this way. Just doing a few little daggers. And then keep these lines going all the way up. We're going to erase anyway. And then we'll mist it with a grey mist like what we've got here. Okay, we're going to be going in with other colours as well, so this is just the starting point. Okay, now what we've got in this area is there's a hell of a lot going on. The easiest way to tackle this, because this is predominantly black with bits of brown and kind of like a creamy colour with a little bit of transparent sienna or orange in this area. But if you look at that pattern that's in this owl, you'll see it in the reference, it's predominantly black. Okay, so look at what is the dominant color in the area, which is black, and then there's white highlights and brown highlights and orange highlights. So what I think we're going to have to do for this area beyond the starting feathers, which is sort of white, off-white color, we'll have to black this out, but we don't want to black it out completely, okay, because there's a bit of burnt umber in there as well mixed in. So we're going to keep it a bit like this, sort of dark grey, like in this area here. So what we'll do is we'll come down on the outside of our white area. Okay, and we'll just start to darken up this area here, like that. Okay, and all I'm going to be doing is little strokes like this. Okay, all in a sense of direction where the feathers are just going upwards like this. You can just move it like that, as if you're doing a dot, but you're moving it up like a couple of mil. So almost kind of dot it. And that goes all the way up here. So I'm dotting, but I'm moving it as well at the same time. And we want it going right the way up to the corner. Remember, keep it away from your white. This is just giving us a base in this area of darkness. And we'll fine tune it with our raising. Now dry it all. Let's get some darker lines in here. Okay. And that's it for that area, right? We don't need a lot. Now we'll do the same okay, we'll do the same in this area. Oh, I want to come in a bit darker there, really. So let me just see. Okay, there. So I want to bring this in here a little bit more. Just use our dot technique. I'm going to air dry it before I start erasing. So here we can start to push out. Okay, push out. And then we've got this V-like thing going on, so we look for the shape and we create like this V, and then we got another one above it. Create that V-like shape. And then here we get a bit blurred, so it's almost out of focus. It's like the focal point is the eye, and it's picking up the focus in this area, but then here it gets a bit blurred. So have to be careful if we're after that kind of photograph look, that we stick to the right erasing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch up to the soft pink, and I'm just going to blur it using the soft pink. So you can see that's really coarse, the glass fibre, but the soft pink just adds a softer element to it to show that it's out of focus. And there's not really a set pattern, I'm just leaving gaps in between. So I'm almost kind of making it look like it's spotted. And then coming up is the odd sort of feather into our darker area. And then we come down and we got another sort of into the darker area there, and then another one sort of here. And then it kind of flows out into this fan area here. So this is where our glass fibre comes back, and we're going to start erasing this area. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a mist down this area here before we erase it. So just in these white feathers around this black area here. Now we can start coming in with our motion, our flowing motion. Keep the sense of direction going upwards into this corner. Okay, and just do it like that gradually. Notice I've gone a bit flatter because I don't want that thin line, I want a thicker line. Okay, so I've gone flatter with the glass fibre. Remember to leave gaps so you've still got the black lines going in. Just watch everything that I'm doing. Create that feather-like look. I've still got some lines coming down. Then this one eats into that one. In a feather-like way, but I want to leave some black lines in the middle. Okay, let's continue. So we're just going up into our corner. Now you can see why we need the darkness in there. So when we come in with our hairs or feathers, we can do some shorter ones and some longer ones, right? So you want to almost do a V and then go into that V, but not right to the top, so you wipe out the black. So look, a V, yeah, and then come into the V, but don't lose the top of the triangle. Same here, look, I've created a V, but don't lose the top of the triangle. Same there, a V. Now that is how you form those kind of feathers. So push up, let's create a V, so going in. Now we've got our V shape, and we've got our black triangle which we can eat into, but not fully, leaving a black area. And you just do that all the way down. So go into your V. Once you've got your V, go into it. You can see how that's layering now. Into that V there, into that V there, into that V there, into that V. Let's create more of a V there. That's it. More of a V there, and then we can create one coming out there. Okay, there's a V there and a V there. So we're now sort of layering our feathers. There's one there. Could probably push that one up a bit further. Gonna put a bit of a mist in under there because I haven't got enough darkness in there. So come in, put your mist in. We'll come back to that once it's dry. So let's continue with our V's. Let's do a V there and there. Another one there and there. Another one over the top there. Okay, and then we can come into the V and just push out. Some of this will push back. So we'll just create those V's. Okay, that's got that feather-like motion in there. We've got a bit of shading to do. What we'll do now is where we've got this line going up here that I shaded, okay, we can come round a bit more and just put a bit of a shade along that line. And do the same. We can eat into that shading. Okay, so using our glass fibre, we've got another line there which has got orange in it. So I'm going to take out any shading where that orange is. So I'm just going to come down the line. Doesn't matter if we eat a little bit into the black, but I just want to define that starting point of the orange. So I can come back in again. Look, so if like I just add into that black area a little bit, I can still come in and just black that out again. Okay, it's not going to cause me any problems. Okay, but what I want to do now is from here just push down. Okay, follow the direction of the feathers in like a sort of sweeping motion like that, curved, just push outwards like this. Okay, and here it comes more sort of rounded like that. Goes into darkness up there, so see how I'm sort of creating that rounded kind of look to that area. Okay. Right, now we can start to shade just coming out of there. And just dust over the first few. Like that. So it looks like it's just eating its way out into the feathers. Just a little bit, not a lot. And we'll start working on the patterns within here. Okay, there's some soft ones and some harsh ones, but all I'm going to be doing is creating what I think is the kind of look of these feathers going up. Okay, so I'm just erasing out the whites and the browns in this area. Okay, there's a few little dots here and there. Okay, there's a big kind of feather here. So I'm just going to punch that in. And there's a line there. We will be coming in with some burnt umber and darkening up some of this area again. Now there's a lot of blurred ones, so the glass fibre is very coarse, right? So I don't want to use all coarse kind of erasing. I want to use soft erasing as well, so I'm using some of the pink. You can see the difference between the pink and the glass fibre it's a lot softer, so it takes a little bit more to get rid of the paint, which is what we want. So we're just going to pick on a few sort of blurry ones, and then because these are out of focus, so just go round in a little circle. If you have to go twice just to brighten some up. There's loads around the actual feathers on here as well. It's going to take some time. Just going to sharpen my eraser, my very small eraser. Still does the job though. So, just going to push out with that one a bit more, and this one. Make that look more feather-like. Let's get some lines going. I can see some lines. So we'll just push up on these, and then it goes into almost a solid. Just go by my reference and just do whatever you see in the reference. And yet the glass fibre will take this off a hell of a lot quicker. But the problem is with the glass fibre is everything's going to look in focus. Okay, and we don't want everything to look in focus. When you're doing things like wildlife and portraits and stuff like that, there's certain areas that's in focus and then certain areas that's blurred. Now the photograph of this owl, the focal point is the eye, and then as it goes further out you lose the focus, so we can't use a glass fibre in those areas where it's blurred. just going to use the glass fibre, and I'm just going to touch just a couple of areas, because there's almost like little rows of feathers in between. I will soften them if I need to with the pink rubber. The further they come down, the more, well, the softer they get. So, because they're definitely out of focus in this area. So I'm just bringing in where I think my feathers are, and then I'm going to soften them, and then the rest is all sort of dots. So go in with the white side of the rubber, and then I'm going to go in with the pink over the top just to soften it. So, and then we can come in with, let's sharpen the white side of the rubber. It all makes sense once we've got some colour going in. We might come back in with some whites just to highlight particular areas when we're doing the colour. Just kind of texturing areas, just taking out some of the black basically. Just going to put another one there. I'm leaving some darker areas. And to be honest, you can make most of this up. It's, you know, it's just a series of kind of blurs and dots and stuff like that. You don't really need to get it 100%. It's all out of focus. I think that is going to do me in that area. Don't think we need to go too mad. Probably do another one. Just lift that up and then take it back. There we go. So in the eye we've got reds, oranges and yellows. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with the darkest colour first, which I think is a bit of a red ochre, like a dark red, and then there's yellow and then there's orange. But what, you know, there's a particular pattern within the eye. So if we go in with the dark first, erase out the pattern, and then we go over with the orange and the yellow. So I'm going to use a little bit of Pyrrole Red, just a little bit, which is really quite an intense red, and then I'm going to add a little bit of red ochre, which is like a browny red, to it. So I'm just going to add just a drop. And I'm going to mix that up. You could just add a little bit of black if you wanted, or a bit of brown if you got a bit of brown. But I just want to take the intensity of that Pyrrole Red down, so we end up with like a browny type red. And now what I'm going to start to do is just go round the eye with my red. Just where I see red in the eye. You can go right up around the iris, because we're going to darken that area anyway. There's a tiny little bit of red underneath the eye there as well, so I'm just going to punch a little bit in that orange bit underneath. Okay, that should do us. Okay, now our red is dry. What we can start to do is add the pattern now within the eye. So coming down here, we've got a line following the shape of the eye. We want to get that out, soften it with the, and then we've got From there we got little lines. One, another one. So we're just going to create these kind of blurred lines. There's some soft ones. Just clean up the bottom. As we go round, kind of fades out a little bit here. We can texture it a little, and then these lines still continue, kind of faint though. Around. We can use the soft part of the rubber up here and just drag them out. This is really highlighted under this area. We can drag that out a bit. And then there's a few little lines that go to that area. This is all kind of white in this area, but a little bit textured, so we can mix it up and let that fade out. Just that little bit of texture. I'm just doing almost like sporadic erasing all over the shop, just so that fades out. And then we got these lines that still follow that kind of shape as it goes round. You can get in and texture the bottom, clean it up a bit. And that's pretty much, don't want to go mad. You could do a little bit more texture in here. Punch some out. Maybe another one there. You can make this bit up if you want as well. That's pretty good. Okay. So now what we'll do is we're going with, make sure we've got a clean gun, and we're going with yellow ochre. Go over the top. Build it gradually. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with red ochre. And now we'll go in with Pyrrole Red, straight Pyrrole Red, in between. So we'll just hit the gaps between our yellows. It's a bit more intense up here, so we can add a bit more red. Down here it's a little bit more intense as well, so we can add a little bit more red in there as it goes up. We'll bring it out to a bit of orange here. There we go. So we've got to do in between these feather-like things.